Here at Money 2020, I'm talking to Gaston Aussens, nice Belgium name, from Molly. And Molly is a payment provider. And 5 years ago, we met each other at the blockchain conference. And he was just announcing that he was accepting Bitcoin in his thing. So you do 100,000 of payments per day. How much the Bitcoin payments are there?
Just a few, not a few percent, just really a few Bitcoin transactions a day we do. We make it very easy for merchants to accept it, and a lot of merchants do, but actual consumers paying with Bitcoin, very, very low.
Yeah, so the merchants are more enthusiastic about accepting it than the consumers.
It's more of a marketing tool. I think merchants also want to position themselves as we are ready for the future, we accept Bitcoin. But the actual usage is a little bit more disappointing than we...
Yeah. How many merchants do you have?
We have about 47,000 merchants throughout Europe that we currently serve, active merchants. And if you look at the number of merchants accepting Bitcoin, I don't know it exactly by heart.
Thousands?
No, it's more than that. It's more than that. I think it's between 5,000 and 8,000 merchants actually accepting
Okay, so all Bitcoin people and enthusiastic crypto lovers, shut up. I mean, there's plenty of time and possibilities to spend it, but you are not doing that. You said that during the fact that the exchange went down, the number of transactions went up?
Yeah. We noticed that the number of transactions went up. You see that when the rate was really booming, people kept it as an investment and were speculating on it. And now when it's under pressure, they think, why not spend it and put it to good use there? So we see the trend going
back to the level of October. Oh my God, what a depressive thing. Since last year, it went up a factor of 4 still. Anyway, okay, so let's forget about blockchain. That's not anything else. Is there anything else in distributed ledger, Ripple or any other coin which you've seen appearing?
Well, we see actually a lot of new clients who are facilitating exchanges with all kind of cryptocurrencies who want to use fiat money and fiat payment methods to be able to buy or sell.
The ICOs, the whole ICO business, that is a nice new market. And are you allowed to accept those clients?
We are very careful about that because it's also
central banks is breathing in your neck.
We have certain laws that we have to abide by, and these kind of companies really have to have their act together and have to have the right measures in place and should not be like speculative, because otherwise it will end up in a lot of misery for the consumer, and therefore we feel responsible for protecting.
Yeah. So you're refusing most of them, but since 90% is going to fail and 20% is fraud, it's very hard to get an account with you if you're an ICO.
True. Yeah, and also with our competitors. So it's not.
So we're gonna stop talking about crypto because it really hasn't arrived in the payment sector. What other trends have you seen in the last 5 years? How is mobile doing, and what's new? What is new?
Yeah, it's interesting. We have not seen a lot of new payment methods actually. We have seen a lot coming, but none of them has been really successful. We've seen a lot of payment methods moving to mobile. Ideal has been moving to mobile. Well, there are various forms of that, of course, with the QR codes, and we have been seeing it with bank.
That's coming up, yeah. That's coming up for this year. Everybody is going to use QR codes, so that is one thing. The crypto and the Asians are using in QR codes, and now the Dutch are going to do it too.
We see that, and so mobile is taking a bigger part of the cake, especially
50%, 20%. 10%?
A little bit below 50% with us. So it's going. So you see that the whole selection of products, the whole buying process, and the payments is moving to mobile. But we also saw that a lot of traditional payment methods are moving far beyond the traditional web shop. So the plumber at home is sending the invoice in PDF with a link that you can pay with Ideal. So also the online payments are penetrating into the normal. Tiki is also, Tiki shows actually that where people usually would exchange cash, they would use and that is helping every consumer to pay and to want to pay more things electronically. So it's the expectation level is really changing. That if you get an invoice at home and you have to type the IBAN over in your, that people are saying, cannot you send me a link or whatever? But so. That's
send an invoice back to say, come on, give me a link. Come on, if you want to get paid, send me a link. Don't make me do this kind of shitty kind of thing. But nowadays I just immediately go to my mobile and finish the transaction there because Ideal is integrated. But I now also see that you can have a QR code on your web screen and then go from your app in there. But it seems to move awfully slow. What are the numbers? Where are the numbers? I mean, I hear that that Ideal has in Holland a market share of 56%. So that means that still 44% are not using Ideal. What are they using?
Online, you mean? They are using all kind of other methods like MasterCard, Visa. There are still packages being sent home with an accept gyro in it, invoices. There's a lot still being used. I mean, if you look at we on the POS side, so we pay about 50-60% now with a card, and those card products are already, when was PIN introduced in the Netherlands in the early 80s, so almost 40 years later, payment habits change very slowly. There are also people who refuse to pay electronically, and not because they are not technology savvy or anything, but you see that they want to keep a better control over their finances. And when everything is done with a click and with a fingerprint, and they feel that they have no control over the money anymore. And especially if your budget is a little bit tight, you want to maybe go to the cash machine once a week, get 200 euros, and every day see how many.
Come on, there's people who do that. Hey, about Molly, I mean, you're now doing hundreds of millions, hundreds of thousands of transactions. What do you need to do to go to millions of transactions per day?
We need to expand internationally more. We are now quite active in Europe, but we have a couple of home markets. But we need to be.
Your market share in Holland is really big.
It's really big. We have more than half of all the web shops in Holland as our client. But we want to have similar numbers in Germany, in France, in Spain, and so we are ramping up on that. We have a whole international expansion team. Also, we want to, as I just said, the electronic payments are being integrated more into the normal business. So we are looking at partnerships with big bookkeeping platforms that when you do your bookkeeping, you send out an invoice. Molly is integrated and it's all sent out with a link in it.
So hey, do you see a role for Samsung Pay, Google Pay, and Apple Pay in the Netherlands?
Well, there might be a role for that. The question is, what is the added value, and how easily is the consumer adopting it? How are they issuing?
It has to come from the consumer, right?
Well, it has to come also from the banks. They have to provide the consumer with the payment means. They have to allow Apple Pay or Samsung Pay on their account, and then when that happens, and then we will also provide it to our.
Do they see that as sleeping with the enemy, and they say, "Ha, we have a fantastic system in Netherlands, and we're going to close it off it for the Netherlands"? Is that a little bit the attitude?
No, I don't think so. I think that mistakes have been made in the past. That the prices that merchants are paying at the counter are in the cents business, and then if you see the revenue model where big companies like Samsung and Apple want to have a piece of the pie, there is no pie to have a piece of. So it's already rock bottom. It's loss making for banks. So there's no business case for companies like that.
So because of there is no business case, that's why it will not be a success in the Netherlands.
It might be a success, but that's why it is not introduced, because it's already loss making.
We have a fantastic payment system in the Netherlands. We have efficient banks, we have low cost, and it works.
It does, but it also has problems like this. If it's too low cost, there's no room for innovation or room to share something with another party who can bring something new, and that's unfortunate.
Okay. So you hear it. Unfortunately, we have a fantastic banking system. We have a great payment system. It's way too cheap. There's no room for innovation. Everything changes extremely slow, and Bitcoin and blockchain has absolutely no influence in the payments world. Thank you very much, and enjoy your meeting with the big guys.